In this video, I want to explain about anticholinergic drugs. They are also called as muscarinic receptor antagonists or atropinic drugs or parasympatholytics. I will explain the classification of drugs, pharmacological actions of those drugs, and uses of belladonna alkaloids mainly, then pharmacokinetics, adverse effects, contraindications, and drug interactions of those belladonna alkaloids. Next, mydriatics, quaternary compounds, tertiary amines, and vesicoselective drugs. Firstly, the classification of anticholinergic drugs. In this anticholinergic drugs, there are three classes of these drugs. First one is natural alkaloids, and the second one is semi-synthetic derivatives, and the third one is synthetic compounds. So coming to this first one, natural alkaloids. There are two types of drugs mainly. First one is atropine, and the second one hyoscine, which is also called as scopolamine. And coming to the semi-synthetic derivatives, hometropine, atropine methanitrate, hyoscine butyl bromide, ipratropium bromide, tiotropium bromide, etc. Coming to the synthetic compounds, there are again four types of synthetic compounds divided as per the activity of this anticholinergic drugs. So coming to the first one, mydriatics. Examples: eucatropine, cyclopentolate, and tropicamide. Second category comes under anti-secretory and anti-spasmodic, which are again divided into two types: quaternary compounds and tertiary amines. Examples for quaternary compounds are propanthelin, oxyphenonium, clidinium, pipenzolate, methyl bromide, isopropamide, and glycopyrrolate. Examples for tertiary amines are dicyclomine, velathamate, pyrangiapine. Coming to the third one, vesicoselective drugs. Examples are oxybutynin, flavoxate, tolterodine. And the fourth one comes under this anti-Parkinsonian drugs. There are mainly three drugs which are used as anti-Parkinsonian drugs and which are having same anticholinergic activity. The examples are trihexylphenidyle, which is also called as benhexol, and procyclidine, and lastly piperidine. Now let us go for pharmacological actions of atropine. Firstly, the actions on CNS. This atropine shows CNS stimulate action, and atropine stimulates many medullary centers like vagal center, respiratory center, and vasomotor center. These three centers are activated by this atropine, and high doses of this atropine results in restlessness, hallucinations, and delirium. Atropine suppresses tremors and rigidity of Parkinsonism. But these atropine drugs or atropine related drugs are not used in this Parkinsonism. Only few drugs which are having anti-Parkinsonism effect or anti-Parkinsonian effect, they are only used, but atropine is not used in this Parkinsonism. And now the effect of atropine on CVS, cardiovascular system. This shows increased heart rate. Atropine shows increased heart rate, and the most prominent effect of atropine is tachycardia, and this tachycardia is due to blockade of M2 receptors on SA node. And another important thing about this effect of atropine on cardiovascular system is it does not have any marked effect on BP. So BP will not rise due to atropine. Next, coming to the secretions. Atropine reduces all the secretions except milk. That means they have no effect on mammary glands. Only they have effect on lacrimal glands, salivary glands, and nasopharyngeal glands. And they also decrease tracheobronchial secretions. Okay, so coming to this atropine, they have mainly effect on these glands. And coming to the next one, smooth muscles. All the visceral smooth muscles that receive parasympathetic motor innervation are relaxed by atropine. Relaxation of this smooth muscle lead to different actions on the different organs. Coming to the GAT, it reduces, atropine reduces the tone and motility. And coming to the biliary secretions, smooth muscles are relaxed, and bronchial muscles, atropine causes bronchodilation. And on genitourinary tract, it relaxes ureters, bladders, and may cause urinary retention. And on eye, it produces mydriasis. What is this mydriasis? Mydriasis is nothing but dilation of pupil due to contraction of radial muscles. Contraction of radial muscles. And next one, on body temperature. In higher doses of atropine, there will be a rise in body temperature that occurs due to higher doses, and it is due to both inhibition of sweating as well as stimulation of temperature regulating center in hypothalamus. And lastly, local anesthetic action. Atropine has mild anesthetic action on the cornea. Uses of belladonna alkaloids. Belladonna alkaloids like atropine or hyoscine, they are used as antispasmodics, and they are also used as mydriatics and cycloplegics. Mydriatic means the drug which dilates the pupil size, which increases or dilates the pupil size, and cycloplegic is the drug which is used in paralysis of ciliary muscle. Belladonna alkaloids are also used as pre-anesthetic medications, and these are also used in organophosphate and mushroom poisoning. And these belladonna alkaloids, they are used in bronchial asthma and peptic ulcer, motion sickness, and urinary disorders. Some of the anticholinergic drugs, they are also used in Parkinsonism and during the labor for sedation and amnesia. Finally, these are also used in serious diseases, cardiovascular diseases like bradycardia. Pharmacokinetics. Atropine and hyoscine are rapidly absorbed from GIT, that is gastrointestinal tract. And when these drugs are applied to the eyes, they freely penetrate cornea, and the passage across blood-brain barrier is restricted, and above 50% of atropine is metabolized in the liver, that is atropine is metabolized in liver, and rest is excreted unchanged in urine. And the T half of these drugs, mainly the atropine, is of 3 to 4 hours. And coming to the dose of this atropine sulfate is 0.6 to 2 mg, which is given intramuscular and also given as intravenous. Adverse effects. Overdose of the atropine causes belladonna poisoning that may occur due to drug overdose or consumption of seeds and berries of belladonna or datura plant. The adverse effects include dry mouth, difficulty in swallowing and talking, dry, flushed and hot skin, fever, and difficulty in micturition or urinary retention. Decreased bowel sounds also may occur due to this belladonna poisoning, and it also leads to dilated pupil, photophobia, blurring of near vision, and palpitation. And other psychological adverse effects are excitement, psychotic behavior, ataxia, delirium, dreadful visual hallucinations, etc. Contraindications. Atropinic drugs are absolutely contraindicated in individuals with narrow iridocorneal angle. Narrow iridocorneal angle is a condition generally seen in acute congestive glaucoma. However, marked rise in intraocular tension is rare in patients with wide-angle glaucoma. So, these type of drugs, that is atropinic drugs, are completely contraindicated in glaucoma patients. Drug interactions. These atropinic drugs are generally interacted with antihistaminics, phenothiazines, and tricyclic antidepressants. They give additive effect for anticholinergics. And now, quaternary compounds. They have incomplete oral absorption, poor penetration in the brain and eye, and elimination is generally very slow and it is slower. Majority are long acting than atropine. Coming to the mydriatics, we have three drugs which are classified under the classification. They are eucatropine, cyclopentolate and tropicamide. But here hometropine is majorly used as mydriatics. So we discuss about this hometropine. And coming to this hometropine, it is 10 times less potent than atropine. When instilled in eye, it acts in 45 to 60 minutes. Mydriasis effect of this drug lasts for about 1 to 3 days, while accommodation recovers in 1 to 2 days. Coming to the cyclopentolate, it is potent and rapidly acting drug and it causes mydriasis and it is having cyclophagic effect also, and this effect occurs in 30 to 60 minutes and lasts about a day. And now tropicamide. It has the quickest action, that is in 20 to 40 minutes it shows its action, and it is very briefest in action, and that is 3 to 6 hours, but it is a relatively unreliable cyclophagic. We can't rely on the drug and we have to choose other drugs for this cyclophagic effect. Now let us go for quaternary compounds. The first one is hyoscine butyl bromide. The normal dose of this hyoscine butyl bromide is 20 to 40 mg, which is generally taken as oral, and it can be also given intramuscular or intravenous or subcutaneous route according to the condition, and it is very less potent and long acting than atropine. It is generally used for esophageal and gastrointestinal spastic conditions. Next, atropine methonitrate. The normal dose is 2.5 to 10 mg orally, and it can be also given intramuscular. And this drug, atropine methonitrate, is used for abdominal colics and hyperacidity. The third one is ipratropium bromide. The normal dose is 40 to 80 mg by inhalation, and it acts selectively on bronchial muscle. And the fourth one is tiotropium bromide. It binds very tightly to bronchial M1 and M3 muscarinic receptors, producing long-lasting bronchodilation. The fifth one is propanthelin. The normal dose of this propanthelin is 15 to 30 mg orally, and it was popular anticholinergic drug used for peptic ulcer and gastritis. The sixth one is oxyphenonium. The normal dose of this oxyphenonium is 5 to 10 mg, and in children 3 to 5 mg given orally. Similar to propanthelin, it is recommended for peptic ulcer and gastrointestinal hypermotility. Seventh one is cladinium, and the normal dose of this cladinium is 2.5 to 5 mg, which is given orally. This anti-secretory or antispasmodic drug has been used in combination with benzodiazepines for nervous dyspepsia and gastritis and other disorders like irritable bowel syndrome, colic or peptic ulcer, etc. Eighth one is pipenzolate. This drug is generally given as pipenzolate methyl bromide, and the normal dose is 5 to 10 mg, which is given orally, and in children the dose is 2 to 3 mg. It has been promoted especially for flatulent dyspepsia, infantile colics and abdominal cramps. The ninth drug is isopropamide. Normal dose of this isopropamide is 5 mg, which is given orally, and this is indicated in hyperacidity, nervous dyspepsia, irritable bowel and other gastrointestinal problems. The last drug of this quaternary compounds is glycopyrrolate. The normal dose of this drug is 0.1 to 0.3 mg as intramuscular, and this drug is calculated as 5 to 10 mg per kg, and this is very potent and rapidly acting antimuscarinic drug. Tertiary amines. The first drug is dicyclomine. Normal dose of this dicyclomine is 20 mg, which is given orally or intramuscularly. In children, the dose is 5 to 10 mg, and this drug has direct smooth muscle relaxant activity, and In addition to it, it has weak anticholinergic activity. And the second one is velathamate. The primary indication of this anticholinergic drug is smooth muscle relaxant. Indication means here that is uses. Uses of this drug is smooth muscle relaxant activity. And this drug is used to hasten dilation of cervix when the dilation of cervix is delayed during labor. The third drug is pyrangypine. The normal dose of this drug is 100 to 150 mg per day, which is given orally, and it selectively blocks M1 muscarinic receptors and inhibits gastric secretions. The final class of the drugs is vesicoselective drugs, and under this class we have three types of drugs: oxybutynin, flavoxate and tolterodine. But flavoxate and tolterodine are not much useful, and mainly we use only oxybutynin, and we discuss oxybutynin here. Coming to this drug, it has high affinity for receptors in urinary bladder and salivary glands. Along with this additional activities like smooth muscle relaxant and local anesthetic properties, it has high affinity towards the receptors. For more concepts of pharmacology, download the app Rudra's Pharmacology. Thank you for watching. For more videos, please subscribe to the channel Rudra's EduCap. Please press the bell icon for notifications. Thank you.